King Harris just hit the wall his father warned him about. Locked up and stripped of the cameras, the 20-year-old went from cocky to desperate, begging T.I. for help after clashing with the wrong people behind bars. Rumors say gangs have marked him, not for a fight, but for silence. Is this the moment hip-hop royalty learns survival isn't inherited? Stick around, this saga is only getting darker.
I don't have no gang. I ain't in no gang. I got family. I got motherfuckers who willing to risk their lives and freedom to die by me and mine. You hear me? Why don't f***ing play with me, man? Don't f***ing play with my motherfucking child, ever.
Picture this, a young man pacing in a cold county jail cell, the echoes of steel doors clanging around him, while his bravado leaks out like air from a pop balloon. That's the scene sources describe when King Harris finally broke down and begged his father for help. For months, he played gangster online, posting clips of himself flashing weapons, trash-talking enemies, and laughing off his rich kid reputation. But inside, stripped of Wi-Fi and clout-chasing cameras, he realized real quick that the streets don't hand out second chances. The whispers say King made the mistake of mocking older inmates, cracking jokes like he was still in a Waffle House parking lot fight. Only this time, there weren't fans filming. It was seasoned men who'd been waiting for someone cocky enough to test them.
What you want to do? What you want to take pictures? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I'm from here.
All right, so.
Oh, hell, y'all, let's go.
What's up with you, bro? What's up with you, bro?
Let's go.
Put your hand around me, talking out your ass like you want to do something. What's up, bro?
Oh, Lord.
What's up, bro?
Nothing.
What? Relax or what?
Nothing.
Or what? Or what?
Nothing.
Or what? Because you just tried me like a boat.
Hey, this could be a game.
Keep out your business, my nigga. Keep out your business.
I think he wants you to peel.
And when word spread that this wasn't just some random kid, but T.I.'s son, the stakes multiplied. Suddenly, King wasn't just another mouthy young inmate, he was a high-value target. Some wanted respect off his name, others wanted revenge against his father's legacy, and still others simply wanted to make an example out of him. Desperate, King reportedly made his way to the jail phone, calling out to Clifford T.I. Harris, the same man he had publicly clashed with months earlier. "Wait till I get back and see him." One recording caught King muttering, half to himself, half to anyone who would listen. The swagger was gone. In its place was a plea for protection, for mercy, for his father's intervention in a world where blood and reputation rule everything.
Take my gun off my head.
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
There's guns in here.
All right, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
No safety, you gotta take it.
There's no safety.
To understand how we got here, rewind to October 2024. King Harris wasn't in some gang war or elaborate sting. He was in the suburbs, sliding out of a gas station in a black BMW when he nearly clipped a police cruiser. One careless turn lit up the blue and red lights that would set this whole disaster into motion. Officers smelled weed, they spotted weapons, and when they ran King's name, they discovered a bench warrant tied to old charges he never handled. Suddenly, the son of a trap legend was cuffed on camera, processed, and plastered across TMZ headlines. But before we proceed, what would you do if you were T.I.? Step in to save your son or let him face the lesson? Drop your take below, because this isn't just father and son, it's legacy on the line. At first, it seemed almost comical. Body cam footage showed King being polite, even cooperative, admitting he had guns in the car without a trace of resistance. "You gonna find my guns?" he said almost casually, as if confessing to carrying sticks was no different than admitting to having snacks in the glove compartment. By the next morning, the charges were softened and King was back out. Another brief celebrity run-in with the law, but the optics? Brutal. Every headline screamed, T.I.'s son arrested with guns and weed. Every blog pointed out that this was exactly the life his father warned him against.
Ain't no motherfucking way. They got the wrong man, wrong guy. What the fuck is that? They got drones flying and shit.
But here's the catch. While legally the situation fizzled, culturally, it exploded. The footage painted King as a young man chasing a reputation he couldn't control. And when those jailhouse rumors surfaced later, whispers that he wasn't just cuffed for a night, but actually clashed with the wrong people inside, the story shifted from embarrassment to survival. The spiral had begun, and it wouldn't be long before King's jokes turned into desperate pleas.
YouTube. We back. This your boy Official Bampton Jack Dripper on Slim Gang TV. As you guys all know, T.I.'s son King was assaulted while currently being incarcerated. We're gonna run this beautiful beam footage and we're gonna talk.
Life behind bars has one rule: respect is currency, and if you spend it wrong, you're broke fast. King Harris, raised in mansions but desperate to prove his grit, reportedly stomped into jail with the same energy he carried online. Loud, confident, ready to prove he wasn't just a silver spoon kid. But jail isn't Instagram, and the people inside aren't random trolls you can clap back at with a meme. They're lifers, hustlers, and men with nothing to lose. Word is, King cracked jokes, boasted about his name, maybe even talked slick about who his father was. It was a fatal misstep in a place where the only thing worse than weakness is arrogance. Soon murmurs spread through the blocks. Some inmates saw an opportunity. This wasn't just about testing a young man, it was about testing the Harris legacy. The son of T.I. carried more than his own reputation. He carried his father's, his family's, even Atlanta's hip-hop pride. King reportedly found himself cornered, facing threats that weren't just about a fight in the showers. These men wanted to send a message, and the message was brutal. Fame won't save you here.
So I just want to say this. First and foremost, there's no shame, no embarrassment in getting packed out, getting beat up. As long as you fight, you're respected. Now, did King fight? We don't know. I'm gonna tell you my personal opinion about T.I.'s son, King. I think that young brother is a pure bitch.
That's when panic set in. Gone was the bravado, the smirks, the "I'm built for this" talk. Insiders say King finally understood the stakes when whispers reached him that certain crews weren't planning to rough him up. They were planning to erase him. That realization pushed him to the jail phones, desperate for T.I. to intervene. Desperate for someone on the outside to smooth things over with connections, money, or favors. His mouth had written checks, but now the bill had come due, and the currency was his safety.
Okay, but y'all, why did Tiny, T.I., and their son, King, why they all get into it today? On Instagram Live. Girl, so let me set this up for you because there is a clip. So the whole family was at the Falcons game today because T.I. was performing. I don't know who said what to King, but he went off. And it sounds like someone might have been joking with him and he just got crazy with everybody. Then it sounds like T.I. and...
For years, T.I. has been shouting the same sermon to his son. This path doesn't end with fame, it ends with prison. And like every stubborn 20-year-old who thinks they know better, King brushed him off. Remember that Falcons game in 2023 when father and son nearly turned the luxury box into a UFC cage match? King yelled that he wasn't raised with privilege, claiming he grew up at his grandmother's house, not in the cushioned safety of T.I. and Tiny's mansion. He wanted authenticity, rawness, grit. T.I., who had literally served time on federal weapons charges, just shook his head. He knew the script already. He'd lived it.
You are embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. Man, what is you talking about? Get off me, man, get off me. Well, you can't do nothing with me. Ain't.
So when King begged him for help from behind bars, the irony was unbearable. The same son who once sneered at his father's warnings now needed the same man to pull strings for his survival. T.I. didn't blast it across Instagram. He didn't stage a press conference. But sources say the phones lit up, lawyers, old associates, even OGs from Atlanta's underworld. T.I. was allegedly checking every possible angle to keep his son safe. For T.I. Wise, it wasn't just about bailing out a reckless kid. It was about protecting his legacy, his family name, and maybe even rewriting the prophecy he had already seen coming true. If fame makes you a bigger target behind bars, is King Harris doomed from the start? Let me know what you think. And subscribe now, because this story is unfolding in real time.
You already know that when you come to jail, everybody jealous of what you done had in your life. That's just part of the culture. Like, I wish I would have had millionaire.
The internet thrives on exaggeration, but in this case, the whispers sound too specific to dismiss. Multiple blogs, hip-hop forums, and street insiders claim that gangs inside weren't just looking to humble King Harris with a fistfight. They wanted him gone. Why? Because in jail politics, hurting the son of a celebrity is instant currency. It earns stripes, respect, notoriety, all the things King himself had been chasing online. For some, making an example of him was the ultimate power move.
And he told me that it was okay. So that's the only time. Any other time, I don't even call the police like for accidents. It ain't even no 911 call with my voice on it. If a motherfucker break in my house, I am not calling the police.
One chilling detail repeated across rumors. King's loud mouth made him a target before his last name did. Allegedly mocking older inmates, flexing about money, and carrying himself like a star turned the tension into gasoline. Once someone whispered, "That's T.I.'s boy," the fire lit. Suddenly, King wasn't just a young man with attitude. He was a walking billboard for every grudge against the Harris family, every resentment about privilege, and every chance to make headlines without Instagram. That's why insiders say T.I. was scrambling, because this wasn't about lawyers or bail anymore. This was about negotiating survival in a world where contracts aren't signed with ink, but with silence and fear.
Ain't like I'm the only one on here who got bad-ass kids.
We all go through
You
it.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you ain't got no bad-ass kids, you got one and you got lucky. You hear me? Anybody with 3 or more,
multiples.
you got one that you don't know what the hell you gonna do with.
Right.
You feel?
Here's the heartbreaking paradox. King Harris wanted to prove he was real, but reality might just destroy him. Becoming a father himself in late 2024 should have been his turning point. Holding his son, King Jr., was supposed to anchor him, forcing him to step into manhood. But instead, the cycle threatened to repeat itself, just as T.I. had feared. One generation clawed its way out of the trap only to watch the next generation run right back into it.
But I can't judge how the parenting has gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this, a lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this.
For T.I., this isn't just about saving King from a few bruises in a county cell. It's about stopping history from repeating like a bad mixtape on loop. It's about proving that hip-hop dynasties can raise sons who don't self-destruct, chasing the very life their fathers escaped. And for King, the crossroads is clear. Will he grow into the father, artist, and man he claims he wants to be? Or will he stay stuck as the punchline of a cautionary tale? Because the gangs inside aren't waiting for a mixtape drop, they're waiting for a misstep. And missteps, as King is finally realizing, can be fatal. The question isn't if King survives jail, it's if he survives the cycle. Do you think he'll break it or repeat it? Sound off in the comments and stay locked in here for the next chapter.